step and it may go in the wrong direction. Well, one more. Yes, sir.
You mentioned about limiting government, and you also said that you thought education may be an appropriate function of government. Yet in our Constitution, I'm not aware of any reference to education, but yet North Carolina is spending half their budget on it. We have a very expensive Department of Education. So if we follow the 9th and 10th Amendments, federal government would not be involved in education.
Well, okay, you're asking two different questions, both of them good, but let's keep them separate.
Okay.
I think that education is a function of local government. And it might very well be one in which the state participates. Certainly not the federal government. I have no idea whether there's a federal Department of Education. Well, yes, I do. I mean, if you run on a platform of vote for me and I will give you other people's money, and you can say, my platform is I'm going to improve education. And that remarkably is a non sequitur. And the way that I'm going to improve education is by paying a bunch of bureaucrats who never come near a classroom to jabber at people about how they should educate. That seems like a non sequitur. Federal government, fine. Education is in the state constitution. It actually even mentions UNC about having as low tuition as possible. So there's some educational function that is mentioned in the state constitution. I still don't find any mention of state provision of education. There's some sort of management function, perhaps. But I think that education is a local function. So I favor raising ceilings on charter schools, making it easier to homeschool, and using vouchers. And people are going to make their own choices. Now, the problem with making your own choices is sometimes you're going to make bad ones. But right now, all of the choices being made for you are bad. At least some people will make good choices if we put the responsibility and power back in the hands of parents. And yet, it's true, some parents are bad. Some parents may not want what's best for their kids. That's not the people we should reason from and say, and therefore, nobody should get to choose for their children. But federal government, yes, that's a win for you. Let's get rid of it. And Reagan, after saying he was going to get rid of it, doubled it. There was one in the back.
Would you consider a general solution to this problem to be to insulate, say, at least increase the insulation of like the Senate from the people?
No, my preference would be to insulate the people from the Senate. So what we need is a Supreme Court that is extremely skeptical about new and existing laws that create government activities that are not explicitly in the Constitution. I mean, the problem is, if you're a member of the Senate, the way that you get reelected is by passing laws that give people money that's not theirs, or by creating new policies that many people think, well, I shouldn't have to do it. One of the things that I find remarkable is motorcycle helmet law, at just sort of a low level. So many people are in favor of making other people wear motorcycle helmets. Now, if you ask people, you can often find them that'll say, well, yeah, I don't really need to because I'm careful. But other people should have to because they're idiots. They won't actually say that they're idiots, but they're not as smart as I am. Everybody thinks that they're God's special snowflake. Well, what possible justification is there for making everybody wear motorcycle helmets? The usual thing that's invoked is health care. I don't want to have to pay for their health care. Well, all right, let's not do that. Or, I mean, after all, the fact is, suppose you have an accident, a pretty significant accident, you're not wearing a helmet. The only health care involved is putting you in the casket. Whereas if you've got a helmet on, you're a paraplegic. Your spinal cord is broken, but your head's in pretty good shape. You can smile, you can drool. So you're going to live a long time in public expense. So if you're worried about that, let's let people take themselves out of the gene pool. Surely that's a fine closing note.